Now, from your weather authority, Chief Meteorologist Wayne Hart.
Well, it's that time of the year when we're going to go back and forth between summer-like weather and fall-like weather, and that's going to be the case over the next 7 days, trending to warmer than normal conditions for next week, and those rain chances will still be rather low here over the next 7 days. But even though the front came through this morning, our highs were generally 85 to 90. It did slowly improve during the afternoon as that cooler and less humid air worked into the area. And tomorrow should be a good 5 to 10 degrees cooler than today. Live first warning Dopplers are showing the false returns around the radar site this evening. May see a few isolated showers Friday afternoon with this next cold front. Other than that, our next decent chance of rain, and it's not all that high, won't be here until the middle of next week. Live view from downtown Owensboro on our American RV tower camera off the top of the Hampton Inn. Nice evening winding down. There's the east side of Evansville on our MCF construction tower camera, and I think this is emergency vehicles associated with the construction out there on the Lloyd Expressway, just past the I-69 overpass. Down to 70 degrees right now. The dew point is down to 60, thanks to a north breeze coming in at 6 miles per hour. And on the comfort meter, that dew point of 60 is almost into the pleasant category. We're going to be in that pleasant range tomorrow. Humidity will rise some on Friday, kind of borderline tolerable and humid. But then after that next front goes through, we'll be back down to at least a tolerable, if not pleasant range to start off the weekend. So humidity will not be all that bad here, especially tomorrow. And temperatures right now cooling into the upper 60s north, lower 70s to the south. And tonight should be a good 10 to even 15 degrees cooler than last night, with overnight lows dipping into the upper 50s to around 60. Well, Hurricane Dorian has strengthened back to a Category 3 storm. Winds are up to 115 miles per hour. It's been over open water, and so it's had some energy to tap there with that warm Gulf Stream. And you can see the eye now is due east of Brunswick, Georgia, which means conditions are improving along the Florida coast, where the hurricane warnings have been dropped now south of St. Augustine. But I'll have the latest track from the Hurricane Center coming up in just a moment. Let's deal with our weather here in the tri-state first. Nice and quiet. High pressure is building in behind that front. So we've got a mostly sunny day for tomorrow. Cooler, less humid, highs in the lower 80s. And then tomorrow night, we'll be back into the 70s during the evening, around 60 by daybreak on Friday, which will feature sunshine, giving way to increasing clouds ahead of this next front. It'll turn a little warmer, a little more humid. Highs in the low to mid 80s, and the latest run of Future Tracker a little more aggressive with a few showers ahead of that front in the afternoon. Other models are much drier than this, so right now I'm going to keep the rain chances pretty much off the board at 10% or less, but we'll see if that trend continues. But if we do see anything, it shouldn't last long. I don't think it's going to be a factor for week 3 of Home Team Friday, and behind it we see some clearing Friday night, and then Saturday a bit cooler and less humid with partly cloudy skies and high temperatures back into the lower 80s with lower humidity. So overnight, skies will be mainly clear, 56 to 60 for the low. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, cooler, less humid. Highs 79 to the north, 85 to the south. Will be in the low 80s here in the metro. And the 7-day forecast shows just a little more heat and humidity on Friday as the clouds increase, maybe some spotty showers in the afternoon, 84, and then a little cooler and less humid over the weekend. Looking very nice now. Highs in the low 80s, overnight lows in the lower 60s. But next week, a steady warming trend. The humidity is back. Daily highs of 85 to 90, and at least a few scattered showers and thunder showers returning, it looks like, on Wednesday as we get into a more summer-like pattern. Well, the death toll from Hurricane Dorian continues to rise. At least 20 deaths are now reported in the Bahamas. And in the U.S., all eyes are still on the storm, with authorities warning people along the southeast coast. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has the latest.
Tonight, as Dorian continues marching north, Georgia getting a preview of what could be on the way.
One of my co-workers told me the sign fell, so when I looked out the door, it was my car.
Serious concerns remain that we will see damaging and life-threatening surf.
Hurricane Dorian leaving millions of Americans on edge after destroying just about everything in its path in the Bahamas. The devastation as far as the eye can see. At one point, more than 70% of Grand Bahama Island underwater. Homes ripped apart, boats blocking roads, and planes tossed like toys. Right now, the U.S. Coast Guard is on the ground helping so many in desperate need of help. Back in the U.S., Dorian spinning off the coast of Florida, the heavy wind and rain kicking up surf and toppling trees, and at its peak, knocking out power to thousands. But Floridians, for the most part, were spared. Now all eyes on the Carolinas.
We want to prepare for the worst, but of course, we want to pray for the best.
Hurricane Dorian has its sights set on North Carolina. We will be ready, and we will not underestimate the damage this storm can cause.
Well, Dorian has strengthened this evening. Winds are now up to 115 miles per hour, making this now a minimal Category 3 hurricane, moving due north at 7 miles per hour, about 100 miles offshore of Charleston, South Carolina. And this is going to be a very close call for Charleston. You can see the eye right now due east of Brunswick. The outer bands are already impacting Savannah up through Hilton Head, Charleston, and Myrtle Beach. And here's the latest track from the Hurricane Center, keeping it a Category 3 overnight through tomorrow morning. And this is 8 a.m., wind still at 115, and it's just off the coast of Charleston. It's going to kind of just parallel the coast during the day tomorrow, including the Myrtle Beach area. Now, the cone of uncertainty does bring it potentially on shore, but the main track keeps it just offshore. But then it gets very close to Wilmington Thursday evening, a little weaker, 105 mile per hour winds, and then it kind of skirts the eastern coast of North Carolina up to near Cape Hatteras to Friday morning, weakening down to 100 miles per hour, but still a Category 2 storm. And then finally, it pulls away from land, but still a Category 1 hurricane when it hits Halifax, Nova Scotia, Saturday night. They don't see hurricanes that far north very often, and it's still a strong extratropical low with potentially still some hurricane force-like winds all the way up into the North Atlantic Monday of next week. So bullseye right now, Charleston north through Cape Hatteras, Shelley, and that eye is going to get very close to Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and Wilmington. Category 2 or 3, they're going to see some damage, a strong storm surge, flooding rain, so not a good situation there. Not as catastrophic as the Grand Bahama Island, but still a bad situation for them.
Something to prepare for and watch out for.
And that's going to be tomorrow into tomorrow night.
All right. Thank you, Wayne.